Sleep invited me to something in New York, and I'm West
Hmm.
Coast, so I couldn't do it. But
Oh
I am
no.
envious. Like, there's got to be some stuff. I'm
Yeah.
man, I'm socially
The West
awkward even
Coast,
at 33. So
the West Coast needs some like the thing is the West Coast needs some order and like there aren't really Wobbles was running the West Coast before, but there's not like the West Coast seed just hasn't really like solidified itself yet. But there
mhm.
are a lot of beatboxers there. It just needs like a beatbox like a top beatboxer there to like really like buckle down and build something over there. Cause I'd love if like in the future I'd love if if I get connects for because I'm running Beatbox Arena, we're gonna be doing a lot of live events. It's kind of my big project now is really organizing events instead of like battling because I wanna get way more events out there, more opportunities and stuff. But it would be dope to like host some big battles in LA and stuff. Like it would be awesome. LA is huge. You can get some really crazy people at your events if you're running it in LA. Like
Okay, so one thing to respond to that, organizing events.
hmm
Currently, there's this rising animosity
hmm
towards people who produce
hmm
in the scene. I think the most egregious example that I've seen was the idea that BBU is a money grab.
yeah.
So what are the challenges there for you? Because this is a tough one. I mean,
Um
just producing in general is tough. I've done it before. It's very difficult. Producing is difficult.
yeah.
Is it made more difficult by the community at this point?
The community hasn't been given a reason not to feel like that.
Interesting. Why?
They're they're very entitled to their feelings because of how events have gone in the past.
And obviously,
A
I'm not
lot
going to ask you
yeah.
to names. It's
Yeah, I don't want to put anyone under the dirt, but there has been there. Not every event is perfect by any means, and it's a history of these. It's a history of imperfect events. It's a history of people of beatboxers trying to learn how to organize events instead of event people organizing events for beatboxers. A beatboxer is trying to take initiative because beatboxing is one of those where you can't like it's hard to sell beatboxing until you see it with your own eyes. Like
yeah.
it's hard to go, yo, I'm running a beatbox event. Like they don't take you seriously with just the words until they see it and go, oh, okay, that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I go up to somebody, I'm like, yeah, I beatbox, and they go, oh, Razel, you know how to do that? I'm like, you know. So it's like it's one of those where it's like the term beatbox is just outdated and the world needs to kind of catch up with like what we've been grinding kind of thing. But
Yeah.
over time it'll do that. It's just like the one thing about like the scene is that there's every everybody comes from every culture. You have everyone. So you have people with completely different values, different culture, different like different lifestyles, different everything coming into this event or coming into this like scene and you know speaking beatboxing or speaking a language through their beatboxing. And we all hear these different perspectives and everything, and that's what's like super beautiful about it. But the thing is there's no unity in like how to be a beatboxer at a beatbox event. There's no rule book. There are no like beatbox laws. It's just kind of like a free for all. There's no like there's not heavy management. There's nothing. There's because the thing is like you can't expect everyone to understand what the rule. You can't expect everyone from every culture in the world, every country to understand like I'm gonna use America as like a social thing, but American like social problems, social things like we have like the social problems that are like come among like events and stuff. Don't does every country have like these events? Yes, every country has different cultures, so different things happen at different events type thing. So it's like
Hmm.
there is no universal rule book of how to be a beatboxer. And that's kind of the issue is not everyone we're not unified in thought.
I can. That's interesting. You when you say it out loud, kind of makes sense because, you know, Codfish, anyone who kind of built themselves online, there is massive skepticism. I remember, like, I was listening to Codfish on stream, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, what, like that guy, right? Is like a money grabber, whatever." I was like, "What?" Like, dude's sick,
Yeah.
and he actually didn't need to do GBB at all, but he did.
He was at, I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, he was at 1.1 million subscribers when Swiss was at 400K. If I recall correctly. So
yeah, he brought his clout over from his following, and the response to that should have been more positive. It's difficult to wrap my head around the lack of perspective.
Yeah.
But what you just said is kind of fair.
Yeah.
You know,
there's no order. There's no leaders. There's nobody you can
there
call.
There are people trying, but
yeah, there are. Yeah. There's no leaders. There's no one in the scene that everyone can universally calls a leader.